What is Gender History by Sonya Rose explains the development of gender history and its importance in understanding the past. Traditional history focused mainly on men, particularly political leaders, soldiers, and public figures, while women were largely excluded. During the 1960s and 70s, feminist scholars began challenging this exclusion by recovering women's experiences and contributions. This movement led to the emergence of women's history. However, historians soon realized that simply adding women to existing narratives was insufficient. They needed a new framework that examined how societies construct ideas about masculinity and femininity. This became the foundation of gender history. Gender history is based on the distinction between biological sex and socially constructed gender. While sex refers to physical differences, gender refers to the cultural meanings attached to being male or female. These meanings vary across societies and historical periods. Gender historians argue that ideas about manhood and womanhood are neither natural nor permanent, but are shaped by social, political, and cultural forces. An important influence on the field was the study of John Scott, who argues that gender is a primary way of organizing power. Rather than studying women alone, gender history examines how masculinity and femininity are created in relation to one another and how these categories structure social relationships. Gender becomes a crucial lens for understanding power, inequality, and historical change. The book also challenges the simple distinction between biology and history. Historians have shown that even scientific understandings of sex have changed over time. For example, before the 18th century, many Europeans accepted a one sex model in which women were viewed as imperfect versions of men. Later, the idea of two fundamentally different sexes became dominant. Similarly, sexual identities such as homosexual and heterosexual are modern historical constructions rather than timeless categories. Another central theme is the relationship between gender, race, class, and empire. Gender never operates in isolation. The concept of intersectionality demonstrates how different forms of inequality interact. Historians have shown that colonialism, slavery, and racial hierarchies were often organized through gendered assumptions. Women's experiences differed significantly depending on the race, class, and social position. The study of masculinity has also become an important area of research. Historians now recognize that masculinity is not a single universal condition but a collection of changing ideals. Different societies have defined manhood through military service, household authority, economic independence, physical strength, or imperial dominance. These definitions shifted over time in response to social and political changes. Gender history has transformed the study of major historical events such as revolutions, nationalism, citizenship, and war. Political rights, national identity, and military service have been shaped by assumptions about gender. For example, modern citizenship was frequently linked to ideals of masculine independence, while women were excluded from political participation for much of modern history. Recent developments in gender history include transnational approaches, global history, studies of emotion and subjectivity, and post structuralist analysis of language and discourse. Despite differing methods, all gender historians share a common belief. Gender is fundamental to understanding historical processes. By examining how societies construct and enforce ideas about masculinity and femininity, gender history provides a richer and more comprehensive understanding of the past.